This video is sponsored by the Happy Health Plan, our new book, which we're super proud of. This book is the distillation of having had over 50,000 people through our online plans. Available worldwide where good books are sold. Yo dudes! Welcome to Spring Veg Easy Delicious Butter Bowl. So Butter Bowl, many are familiar with. The secret to making a beautiful butter bowl is one thing, colors, and two, you only really want to be making two components. The rest are condiments such as kimchi, sauerkraut, some greens, pickled onions or something like that. Very easy. This recipe is simple to make. It'll literally take you 10-15 minutes max, and it's incredibly delicious. Okay, first step we're gonna do is we're gonna make our nice, easy lentil curry. To make our 5-minute lentil curry, we have 5 scallions, also known as spring onions, that we're chopping nice and finely. I've got a wide bottom non-stick pan on high heat. I'm adding in 1 tablespoon of oil. Once that's nice and hot, in go the scallions. Next step, I've got a thumb-sized piece of ginger, just about half a thumb size, about that size. Just give it a nice chop. This is organic, so I'm leaving the skin on. Obviously, if it's non-organic, peel it. Chop it nice and finely, and in it goes into the pan. Next step, I have 3 cloves of garlic. Just peel and dice them nice and finely, and in they go too. Keep this moving. The garlic can burn quickly, so you only really want to cook it for about a minute. Next step, in go our spices. I have 2 tablespoons of just a medium curry powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric. Little bit of smoked paprika, about half a teaspoon of that, because that's quite strong. Mix it through. Again, only cook it for about a minute because we don't want them to burn. Next step, we've got a can of coconut milk. That's a 400 ml can of full fat coconut milk. Just add it in. And I love the way you can almost see the spices kind of breathe aside. Relief, they're not burning. Next step, I have a tin of cooked lentils and cooked chickpeas. We drain and rinse them. So it's about 240 grams of each. In they go. So it's 500 grams of cooked beans. Last few bits, I'm gonna just season that with a bit of salt. I've got a nice bunch of fresh coriander, also known as cilantro. Chop it nice and finely, include the stalk, and in it goes. Obviously, if you don't like coriander, just replace with flat parsley or basil or Thai basil or something that you like. The beautiful thing about this curry is it literally takes 5 minutes. That was me on my own, no Dave. Just so easy, so straightforward, and genuinely delicious. Only thing I'd add to it is just a little squeeze of half lime. It's just gonna add a little bit of vibrancy, vitality, and a little bit of acid to go against that sweet. So our second component we're gonna make is just lovely tender stem broccoli and some fennel, which we're gonna char. But first step we're gonna do is parboil it. So I filled a pot half full of boiling water. I'm gonna add a nice bit of salt because it helps season our veg from within. So I'm going with a nice generous pinch of coarse sea salt. So add your tender stem broccoli or broccoli just straight into the boiling water, and while that's in, we're gonna just chop our fennel. So just cut the base off the fennel because that can often be a little bit dirty and holds it together. Chop it in half lengthwise and then chop it into kind of nice chunks. We want to keep it in chunks because this means it'll just hold together when we char it. So the reason why we're parboiling is just so they're cooked fully through, because often when you're charring, it's a hot temperature and the outside cooks but the inside doesn't. So we're literally gonna leave these to parboil for about 3 to 4 minutes. And while that's happening, I'm gonna make some spring greens and pesto. Okay, for spring greens, this is simple. Just literally take 2 handfuls of seasonal greens. I've gone for some mixed local greens and some spinach. 2 tablespoons of our own basil pesto or whatever basil pesto you can get. Take your hands and get stuck in. This is one of those moments where you kind of don't want to get your hands in, but if you don't, it won't spread properly. So worthwhile, get your hands in, get stuck in. Food is such a lovely tactile experience, and I think this just gives you that extra opportunity to add a little bit more love. So our fennel and tender stem broccoli have been parboiling for about 3 minutes. They're kind of soft, it looks nice. I'm gonna drain and rinse it now. So I'm just putting a nice drizzle of oil. It'll just help them char a little bit better. About 2 tablespoons in, it's gone. Just take a spoon and give it a mix through because it's gonna be hot. So when you're dealing with like a hot cast iron pan, it's very easy to feel impatient, but one of the most important things if you want to get lovely charred lines like this is just giving them time. Like it's taken me years to understand that because you want to keep moving it, you want to keep, but it takes time to get, look at those charred lines, like look at that. Like it takes time to get that. So I turned the heat off the pan. The residual heat currently is just finishing them off for me. And while that's happening, I'm gonna start plating up this epic spring veg butter bowl. So So I've just used some simple store-bought brown rice that's pre-cooked. Next step, I have our greens and pesto. Just pop that up to one side. So just beside that, I have a little bit of red cabbage sauerkraut. We always call it crimson sauerkraut because it just sounds a little bit posher, but it's just red cabbage sauerkraut. Then on the other side, I have some charred broccoli, and that's kind of creating a dam where I'm going to put this beautiful lentil curry. So 2 good scoops of the lentil curry. It just looks amazing. Next step, I have a little bit of kimchi, and finally, just to finish it off, I have some of the charred fennel. It looks magnificent. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of Korean chili powder, also known as gochugaru. Okay, this is one of my favorite ways of eating because you're just getting so many textures. You're getting like charred, juicy veg, you're getting fresh greens, you're getting sour, you're getting kind of crispy, you're getting just creamy, and you're getting starchy in the middle. So this is beautiful, right? Here we go, without further ado. Like for a 5-minute curry, that is absolutely banging. This is such a dish that's packed full of micronutrients. It's delicious, it's easy. If you do want the recipe for the kimchi, there's a link to the video there. Thank you for watching, and please check out our online courses. We've just released our Happy Heart course with a cardiologist, Dr. Joel Kahn. He's amazing. Anyway, link down below. Thanks for watching. Cheers.